Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
I think this might be the single greatest culmination of effects and ride technology that has ever been done.
To start talking about number 6, we have to go back to 2012, and 7 years before the attraction would actually open. Then Disney CEO Bob Iger would sit down with George Lucas, yes, the same George Lucas who was partially responsible for rides 46, 31, and 21 on our countdown, and the two would finalize the sale of Star Wars to the Walt Disney Company, leading to Disney's eventual Star Wars films and a pair of new rides coming to both Orlando and Anaheim. Skip ahead to 2019 and the immersive beyond belief attraction of Rise of the Resistance would finally welcome guests at Walt Disney World in what's labeled as the most technologically advanced attraction in history. The story of the ride begins with guests venturing through hidden ruins and a queue themed as a secret resistance base on their way towards the actual ride. In a small pre-show, riders are provided with a mission via a hologram of Daisy Ridley's Rey from Disney's Star Wars films. Characters BB-8, Poe, and Finn also make cameos to immerse guests even further. After hearing from Rey, guests make their way outside, spot an X-Wing, and are rushed onto a new transport ship to complete their newly assigned mission. After the ship's door closes behind guests, the floor begins to vibrate. But that's all before the First Order captures the guests and their new vehicle. In a spectacular move by Walt Disney Imagineering, many guests now expect to exit the ride vehicle through the doors on the opposite side from which they entered. But unbeknownst to them, the same doors that they entered on now open and reveal they did actually move and are instead now on a First Order Star Destroyer. It is truly one of the most incredible surprises on a theme park ride anywhere. After being taken hostage by First Order cast members and walking through a mind-numbingly large hangar structure in which stormtroopers are watching their every move, guests, they eventually escape via, get this, the actual ride vehicle. That's right, all this time spent immersed in the attraction and you haven't even been on the ride yet. Once on board, Walt Disney World's first trackless ride system shows off its capabilities as multiple vehicles swing their way through the outstanding show building. Stormtroopers quickly spot guests at the beginning of the ride and fire lasers right past their moving transports, resulting in the walls breaking. 40-foot-tall AT-ATs are spotted in the next section of the ride and attempt to wipe out passengers, putting guests right in the middle of a new Star Wars film. Check out this shot of the evil Kylo Ren charging your vehicle. The trick here in this particular effect is the fact that Kylo is actually digital and portrayed on a screen, though the red lightsaber in his hand, that's an actual object. Unbelievable. Without spoiling too much of the ride system itself, guests can expect to explore every corner of the structure before making their daring escape. Rise of the Resistance combines so many ride systems of other legendary attractions on our list and blends them perfectly to create an attraction that truly stands on its own. Even if you're not a fan of Star Wars, the sheer size and multiple effects seen throughout the ride will make it one of your most memorable theme park experiences to date.
Wait a minute. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Our number 5 attraction actually doesn't exist anymore, but that doesn't take away the impact it still has on Walt Disney World. The Great Movie Ride was actually originally intended for Epcot, but the idea of it was so well received that it became the foundation of this place, Disney's Hollywood Studios.
What's better than a theme park's greatest attraction? How about an attraction that created a theme park? Just after the opening of Epcot in 1982, Disney planned on creating a pavilion based on movies. Originally to be placed between the Land and the Journey into Imagination pavilions, the Great Movie Ride Pavilion was designed to look as a movie set backdrop. A small ticket booth would serve as the entrance to the structure, and inside, guests would find great moments at the movies, an attraction that planned on housing dozens of animatronics of characters from your favorite live-action films. A few years after Epcot opened, Disney CEO Michael Eisner believed that he could potentially take the planned movie pavilion and build an entire theme park around it rather than inserting it as a small portion of Epcot. On top of this desire, rumors were circulating that rival Universal Studios was planning on heading east to build a new studio and theme park in the Orlando area. Many believe that Eisner knew of these plans and quite quickly greenlit the movie theme park idea in order to beat Universal to the punch. Having an opening date that would precede Universal's would be crucial. A backlot tram tour would be featured along with the original Epcot attraction, the newly named Great Movie Ride. One potential issue that Disney dealt with when constructing the Great Movie Ride was the fact that their studio was just over 50 years old and didn't exactly feature a deep history when it came to Hollywood pictures. Instead, Eisner negotiated with MGM to utilize their assets in the new park and marquee ride. And thus, the name MGM Studios was born, and the Great Movie Ride had a newly found plethora of options to create from. A 95,000 square foot building would house nearly 2,000 feet of track as the ride opened with the park on May 1st, 1989. The outside of the attraction wowed guests as they entered the new park, as it was a replica of the famous Chinese theater found in LA. Led by a real cast member tour guide, passengers would board their large vehicles and head into films such as Singing in the Rain, Alien, and The Wizard of Oz. At one point in the ride, guest vehicles would be hijacked as the attraction made its way through a scene dedicated to either gangster films or one focused on westerns, depending on where you were seated. Eventually, the tour guide would make their triumphant return when the hijacker attempted to grab a large jewel from an Indiana Jones scene, turning the adversary into a skeleton. It was a really fun storyline featuring lively cast members in a ride surrounded by 59 audio animatronics. After traveling through Munchkin Land and seeing a stunning animatronic of the Wicked Witch of the West, the attraction would culminate with the vehicles stopping to watch a small montage of some of Hollywood's greatest clips before returning to the station. The Great Movie Ride sadly closed in August of 2017 to make room for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It marked the end of the old MGM Studios as we once knew it.